Hey everyone, how you doing today? We have a returning guest, and it looks like he's going to be a weekly returning guest. We have Stephen Dow from Velocity Mortgage. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing well. So first and foremost, I want to give you some props. Last week we did an introduction video. We kind of teased the audience, like maybe this is going to work. We wanted to talk about the difference between bank lending and hard money, and how Velocity and yourself kind of fit right in the middle.
Right.
And you were nice enough to give out up to 30 free appraisals and all these things. And I was like, we're going to find out if this guy can really service the one rental at a time community. And all
Right.
I promised the audience was fast answers, right? I can't
Right.
promise yes answers, right? Because there's some things you don't do, right? You don't lend on
I wish.
yeah,
Right.
you don't lend on primary residence. You don't do this.
Right.
You don't do that.
Right.
So far, everybody that's reached back out to me, because my audience is awesome, they let me know, has indicated your service has been fast. Some no answers, but again, I can't. There's no promise there. So I just want to let
Right.
you know, so far so good. And I just
Thank
wanted
you.
to thank you for doing that, man. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah. So the other thing we got to do, because Velocity is publicly traded, is you have to read a little bit of a disclaimer where we got hand slapped by the old marketing corporate umbrella. So why don't
A
you do that?
little bit.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fine. I get
So,
slapped all the time. So why don't you go
right.
ahead and
Right.
do that now? So it's
Okay.
recorded, and then we'll
Thank you.
get into today's topic.
Perfect. Well, before we start, let me start by saying, although I work for Velocity Mortgage Capital, all the views and opinions expressed in this show are of my own. And other than that, let's get it going.
There you go. Yeah, this is Steve's opinions, not Velocity Mortgage's opinions. That's what
Right.
that's all about. So, hey, one of the first things I want to do is I want one rental at a time community to realize that, we talked about a lot of stuff last week. You have your own playlist, right? I was so confident in you and what we're doing that
Right.
I created your playlist early so people can go back and look at it. I think it's called Velocity. I'll have to go back and look. It might be Steven, but I'll figure out what that is.
Okay.
I want them to realize that, they could think bigger than maybe they are, right? A lot of folks that watch this maybe are thinking about burying a single family home or or they're doing something like that. But
Right.
right, we can go up to $5 million ARV, and it can be commercial, right? If you find a value add flip in an apartment building, 8, 10, 12 units.
Not quite. The ARV is only for 1 to 4 units, but if
Oh,
you
1
kind
to
of,
4.
a 4 unit that's gonna
There we
need
go.
some rehab, yeah, Santa
Okay.
Monica, any place
Yeah.
like that, that dollar range is really going to be helpful. And really, there's really no other players in the 2 million to
Yeah.
5 million, range other than us.
Oh, wow. So let me make sure I heard that right. So we're talking up to 5 million ARV residential.
Correct.
Okay. So yeah, it would be a fourplex, Santa Monica, some other areas maybe.
Right.
Okay. All right. I get
Or
it.
you got high dollar amount areas in New Jersey, Atlanta, obviously Silicon Valley.
Oh, yeah.
This would probably do very well there. So there's certain markets that just so long as you do the homework and the numbers make sense, I mean, we'll cover 100% of the rehab, even if it's in, 100, 200,000, 300,000 range. So
the other thing I want to play with, again, I'm just playing this episode's really about getting people to think bigger, perhaps. One of the things that's very common, and I have other experts talk about, is house hacking.
right.
And I was just thinking, right, when you were going through this dollar amount, maybe you could, because if you're going to house hack, 3.5% down,
Right.
it's got to be of certain quality, right? It's got to meet all the
Sure.
standards.
Mhm.
So maybe what somebody does is they find a junker fourplex, but in a good location where they want to live. They come to
Right.
Velocity, do
Right.
the program, and then
Right.
the exit is
Yep.
a 30-year fixed bank loan.
Correct. And on the higher appraised value and at
Exactly.
75% LTV.
Wow. So they get rid of PMI and they get rid of all that other stuff.
Correct. Well, I mean, again, it depends on your initial acquisition because through our ARV, there's no PMI.
No, I'm talking about the exit, right? I was thinking about,
Right.
I'm going to house hack. I'm going to follow what, the lumberjack landlord does on this channel.
Okay.
Or maybe what Dion Financial Talk does. And I'm going
Okay.
to go buy a fourplex. But if
Okay.
you're going to buy a fourplex 3.5% down, it's got to be in a
Right.
pretty nice condition. And you're going to live in one
Right.
of the units. That's
Right.
an FHA loan. But maybe
Gotcha.
maybe you go buy a junker. You skip
Right.
the bank because no bank's going
Right.
to lend on a junker. You come to Velocity.
Correct.
Maybe you spend 9 months. Maybe you spend 15 months because it takes
Right.
time to remodel and recycle tenants.
Sure.
And then you get it to a nice condition. Then you refi out Velocity into
Right. And into a bankable loan.
What's
You
wrong
can
with
do that too. Nothing at all. Because you can use either one of our instruments to either, acquire, and then obviously if you are bankable, then just use it as the purchase money and then flip it. And then hopefully in 6 months with conventional, I think up to on a fourplex, you could now use the new higher appraised value at that point. So, within 6 months, you can kind of keep the train moving. But again, use our money to do the rehab instead of being, invested as far as your own funds.
Yeah, I mean, it really opens up the opportunity, right? Even if you're in, another part of the country, I think there's a lot of fourplexes that this would work for, right? There's a lot of fourplexes.
Oh, definitely. And I don't think people are really looking towards that. I mean, there's obviously a lot of high competition for single family, but again, you could also use the fourplex as an investment, live one of the units, like you said. So it definitely.
Let me just play this out, because I think this is like a real opportunity for Velocity. I'm just playing with it, right? Because I talk to people all the time on fourplexes, right? Everybody who gets Dion Talk or Lumberjack Landlord goes, I'm going to house hack, and everybody wants a fourplex.
Okay.
But when they go shopping, they realize that all fourplexes aren't created equal. Right. And most of them are dollar constrained, right? They may have 3.5, they may have 5% down.
Sure.
Right? And again, right, if you look at fourplexes, I don't know what the number is. There's 500 of them in your, or 100 of them in your market. Right. Probably 8 of them are kind of out there by, landlords who haven't kept it up, haven't managed it, haven't recycled tenants. And it really, the math doesn't work, because you not only need the 3.5 or 5% down, but then you need like an immediate cash infusion to do the upgrades. Instead, go find the best located fourplex that's correct junk
and at a cheaper price, less competition, because nobody wants a
they can't finance
for the most part.
And again, fixing up a fourplex, especially a live-in house hack, is
now keep in mind, we can only apply it on non-owner residential investment, because the stated income aspect. So the house hacking doesn't quite work initially. Down the road, you can maybe, if things change and you have to, then
so be it, right? So so you buy a fourplex. Oh, I'm sorry, this picture now. You're buying the fourplex fully occupied with tenants.
Right.
It's a junker.
Right.
Your vision in a year and a half,
or
whatever, is to potentially live in it and at that point get a bank loan. But you don't want to live in it now. It's junk, and you don't like the tenants. They got to be recycled.
Right.
Now
I'm not telling you, because again, due to Dodd-Frank, we cannot actually do it on their primary residence initially. But after the fact, things change. I mean, I can't I don't have a crystal ball to say.
Yeah, it's a year and a half down the line. People, situations change. And again, if they don't move in, who cares? Still go get a bank loan. Even if it's still 4 units, you've turned it over, you've recycled the tenants.
Correct. It's stabilized, maybe rents have increased due to the rehab condition. So
I would hope so.
It's good opportunity.
Because that's what I've been hearing from folks is they want fourplexes,
right?
But they can't figure out the money, right? Because it's big money, right? It's I have the down, but I don't have the repair,
or vice versa.
Or whatever.
Whatever. You're just short money. Yeah.
You're short money. Yeah, exactly. All right, so that makes me feel. And again, I say fourplexes. It could be a triplex. It could be a duplex. I mean,
anything from 1 to 4 unit in that price, in that dollar range is fine.
I like that.
Up to 70.
So what else do you want to make sure people realize? Because there's so much opportunity with Velocity Mortgage than just cheap houses.
Well, I mean, again, if you're looking at investing in commercial properties as well, or multifamily, we can do apartment buildings, regular, commercial as far as straight retail, office building. So the application of the asset-based or stated income loan program can be multi-useful, again, 1 to 4 unit as well as commercial or multifamily. So
how big do you go in commercial? Sorry.
Up to 5 million, from 100,000 up to 5 million. So we're also one of a few players as far as commercial or multifamily, from the under 500,000 down to even 100,000 range. There's really not many people. So that's another market that seems a little underserved.
For sure.
Underserviced, that is. Yeah.
So let's play with that, because again, that's where I like to focus, right? I like when I go buy commercial, right? I like to be between 5 and 20, because those are too small for the big boys, right? They don't get like that, and being commercial is bigger than the little guys, because it takes 35% down if I go get a bank loan. So let's talk about that, right? So I go find I go find a 10plex. It's $100K a door. It's $1 million.
Right.
What are we talking about? What do I come to Velocity Mortgage with?
Oh, you're going to love this part, because on multifamily or even commercial, as it pertains to normal commercial financing, the property has the debt service or debt debt coverage ratio has to be met. That only applies as far as commercial or multifamily properties on loan amounts above 500,000 for refinances and above 750,000 on purchases. Okay. So now the property just needs to be at least 70% occupied, and whatever you're getting per door doesn't actually affect your desired loan amount that you're actually applying for. Because sometimes if you're not getting enough per door and the DSAR is too low, you're not going to get that loan amount. They're going to, obviously cut you a little bit. Mm-hmm. But again, in this case, that doesn't apply.
Okay. So again, you say same deal as last time, right? We talked, and again, folks, you can go back and watch that video. It's like 30 or 40 minutes long. There's a couple of states and they don't go to all of that. But again, you could do a 10 or 20 unit in Florida or Texas or Ohio, right?
Again, the application of the ease of use of the product being asset-based, but then the reach of nationwide. Yeah. I mean, you can't get any better. You know what I mean? So there's certain restrictions do apply depending upon your level of experience. Mm-hmm. We try to keep it to where if you're looking for first time out of state investments, we don't normally allow that, but there's certain, exceptions to that rule. Obviously, say you're in New Jersey, right? And you're investing in New York, it's right across the line. You can get there in like an hour or whatnot. So that kind of, it's an outline kind of situation. But if you're in California and you're trying to buy, something in Florida, first time ever, maybe if there's a property management company involved, things of that nature. Yeah. So we're more of like a make sense, lender. So there's certain things that we can kind of use for compensating factors.
Yeah, I like that. Makes sense lender. And again, folks, go back and watch that first video, kind of introducing Velocity Mortgage and Steven to this. I just want people to think bigger. And again, one of the things I want people to think about, I think that fourplex idea is interesting, or small multifamilies is interesting. People, how do you want people to reach out to you, Steven? Did we ever get the 30 people? Do we still have some free appraisals out there? People,
well, how do I put this? Yes, I forgot to make the disclaimer last time that the fact that it was supposed to be per borrower or per applicant. So there were a couple that did call in with blanket loans or portfolio loans, which we did accommodate a good amount. But at this point, we've kind of reached that 30, if not exceeded that, just to accommodate, because the overwhelming positive response was like, hey, we put it out there and, we appreciate the business, just to kind of allow you to see the product and then kind of go from there. But we're very confident once you see our process, you're going to enjoy it and come back if we at least allow you to kind of take a free look with these free appraisals. So yeah, that was great. Yeah.
Oh, cool. So how do you want people to reach out? Is it still your email? You want to give your email real quick?
Yeah, email would probably be the best, because I can check on anywhere if I'm outside the home office such. So that's S as in Steve, and then my last name, DAO @velocitymortgage.com.
Very cool. And folks, I will put that below in the description, because again, what I want you to do is I want you to keep testing them. So far, the responses have been good. I've heard from folks that he was responding in the evenings and even a couple of times over the weekend, which that's next level stuff right there. So folks, pay attention for episode, the next couple. I think we're going to get through at least 2 more. We're going to give examples of at least 2 of the 4 products. And then next week we will cover the other 2. Steven, thanks for your time, buddy.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.